As you can see here, I'm back into cutting a bit of wood, and probably you might notice that I'm cutting probably the worst wood you could ever get hold of. This is not new Bunnings stuff, it's just, would you believe, old pallets, and fighting to get in between the lines or the nails to get some pretty decent wood out of it. This project I've taken on, I'll show you the drawing here now. I'll bring it a little bit closer. I've got the old GoPro there giving it a go. Next to useless, you can't zoom in. I don't know if you can see anything. The scale of this thing, well, the scale is 25:1. This is the drawing, and some of the measurements you can see there. 1.50 meters, which is very hard to get out of a pallet. But you know, as you can see, there's a bit down there. There's close to 100 pieces in this. A lot of it I have to feather it together. That's mean running a slot down the middle of the thickness of the wood, through here, groove through there. Then I'm going to feather a bit of 3-ply, glue it in, and put another piece on the other side, and I keep on joining it up until I got my width that I want. And the width of these is 400mm, so these have to be 80mm thick. So 5, 8, and there's 5 pieces of these like that to go there to make a section that goes through right to the back, which is 400mm deep. So yeah, the drawing is pretty accurate, and when you're doing something like this and you're doing drawers and all that, I know from previous experience, you've got to be spot on with your measuring. You measure once, you measure twice, and cut once. And I have got enough information on there. I haven't put everything on there, but I'm sure that it's going to be heaps of material. So you can follow me on this project. I'll do a little bit here and there. As I said, it's made out of pallets. Eventually we'll get there. What I'm going to do here is make these canes, they're 30mm wide, and I'll put a groove in the material overhead there. And this is my practice piece to make sure that I've got the right thickness, and that's just about right. You need a little bit of slop there, so when the glue goes in there, it'll expand. So I'm going to join another piece onto here so I can join till I get to the width. So eventually we'll get there. A lot of fiddling around. My machine over there, I'll just turn you around. Only can work to 100mm wide, but means you have to get materials 120 wide, but you got to get one side flat. That's the side. Sorry, that's the side. You see, I've machined that one up, but this is my spare one because I found a split up there. Can you see the split? Yeah, right. There's a split there. So that's my spare piece, my test piece, and so forth. So I get this to go in there. What happens is I glue it, then I glue the other piece and slip it over the top of that, and that comes a real strong feature. what a lot of people do on the on YouTube, or what I've seen, is they just glue one piece onto the other. To me, that's not a very strong joint. This really makes strong. I've made tables and all that using feathering. I will just run right through with the cut with this, and what it'll do is leave the ends exposed. I'll show you like this. Well, that's not quite nice. I'll get the other end. Sorry. Be exposed, so when you turn around, and I'll get that level, you can see that, right? You'll see the end of it, but I don't care. I'm sure I can do something to make it look better. Okay, well, we'll carry on. You can watch for a little bit. You'll probably get bored, but I have to do all these canes first, then I'll go and do all the pieces of wood over here. All those pieces there got to have a groove on each side where this runs in. And I've made these canes 1.25" or metric 30mm. Right, I'll get back into it. You don't need to watch. At the moment I'm just thinning down these canes there, and then we'll go for it. I'll give you a quick preview of the joining up of the wood, and then I'll have to put it through the thicknesser to get it down very close to about 1/2 mil or mil. This thickness here, on here, that's a finished thickness. Then, as I say, I'll put the groove in. I'll show you what else I'm going to do, because I only width on my thicknesser here. If I could show you, the thicknesser here is only a 300mm. I've done anything bigger, and I'll just struggle. But what's a bit of glue and a feathering, you can call it feathering or caning, to join two pieces of wood up? Nothing. Probably a few things that you have to watch for when you're joining pieces of wood up. I'll tell you what you need to watch out for. I don't seem to say that on YouTube when I see all these when they're building things with pellets. It doesn't matter what wood there. When you join wood together, you've got to give it more than just an edge. You either give it a dowel. I could do a dowel, but that's an expensive way to go. Feathering is cheap, easy to do, and can't go wrong. Then I'll probably move you over to this setup here, if I can. And here I will be using these wedges here, like so, that I've made up to push the pieces of wood together with the doweling, so you get a nice tight joint and close tolerances. And usually they put them on a board. I've got little canes here that are all the same height, and that'll lift the wood together. When I join it together, there's no difference in height, and plus it does not stick to the bench, only to those pieces of wood, which is pretty easy to knock off. Okay, right, I'll carry on. I've started the process of joining the wood up together, and I have started now. As you can see, I've done that. Now I don't just glue the ends off, I feather them, as you can see. They are called, I call them canes, and I put a groove into the piece of wood, which I'll show you now. Like that. It's thinner this side than it is this side. Thinner here than it is this side. I have to finish machining off this side. This is the side I machine off. That should be flat as joined up together. Then I use the cane. This is the cane, and that groove is 2.5 mil, and I make this 2.25 mil, and it just slips in. Okay, just enough glue. Once the glue hits it, the masonite will expand. Masonite is pretty good. You can use anything you're prepared to use. And so I use masonite because I had a bit laying around, a bit of scrap, a bit of rubbish, really. And yeah, that works really good. Right, now the whole idea of this exercise is you've got to machine again the other side here, because I only saw cut this side. This side was plain, and both edges are squared up now, so that's a good thing. Now I'm going to join them up together now, because I've machined them to the thickness, and these have been glued together, 2 here, and on the other piece here 3. Now I'll glue these up together and whack them in there, and Bob's your uncle. I've got 1 full piece, and both edges should be nice and square, level, flat. See what happens, eh? Right, we'll get back into it